Forex Fortune Hunters, Tom Wilmot, and thanks a lot for listening in. We're going to continue our investigation of the Double Whammy template. That template includes the Trend Magic Indicator as well as the Chandelier Stop, and you can see it here on the screen along with some of our multiple moving averages. We want to just finish up on this particular template before we move to Gamma, Super Gamma, and all of those interesting ideas that were presented in our book, The Fabulous Forex Zealander Trading Strategy. Okay, so let's get going right after this. Okay, now in order to give you some additional tips on how to trade the Double Whammy and Trend Magic indicators, let's take a look at what happened first of all to the USD.CAD on Friday. This is a Friday of February vacation, President's Week. Friday was back. Today's the 25th of February, so it was back last Friday. In any event, right in the middle of the day, we had a significant drop in the US dollar. And so we want to take a look and see if there was a change in trend coming into Monday morning. That's the first thing we're going to do. So let's drive our indicators over here. And we can see, yes, we did get a bit of a pop here in terms of the reversal coming into the Monday session. You can see this is Sunday night, obviously. This is a 30-minute chart of the USD.CAD. So now let's begin to drop down a little bit. Let's put our situation, our line here, our vertical. I like to do that in order to say when did we switch to white lines on this 30-minute chart. Now let's drop down to the 15 and see what happens. And obviously we could also move our things over here. We can see even on a 15-minute chart that we had a nice move. Here's our London session where we continued the downtrend of the US dollar. Then as we moved into the US session at 7 a.m., we had a significant, nice candle. The buyers were stepping in, and off we went to the races. Now, you could trade this even off the 15-minute chart as we pulled back down to the template, this Trend Magic indicator, the white line right here. We can see we pulled back and then quickly reversed. Let's drop down even further and just take a look at the 5-minute chart here. And we can see that we had this move right on the 5-minute chart after the 7 o'clock opening. We can see we had a nice push up where the buyers came in, pull back into this area, and then a nice move here even before the 9:30 opening of the U.S. market. Let's just take a look at these pips right here. We had 21 pips here, then we did pull back. Now notice that we've always said the chandelier is our stop line, and obviously we didn't attack that. So this was safe, even though we turned red for a bit on the Trend Magic. And also notice that our bands, our multiple moving averages, which had clearly moved to the upside, held us. This is almost like a cocoon down here. This is a pullback. It's compression in the bands, but obviously saved us. We moved right up here and into the morning session, 9 a.m. We had another significant move to the upside. Here we go, and we had a 34-pip drive to the top. Now, one of the things I have not done for you in these videos yet is to add some Fibonacci. Let's just see what happens when we do that even on the 5-minute chart. We'll take our Fibonacci retracement line. We'll start down here, and nicely with MetaTrader, it grabs the bottom of that candle. We come to this particular area here, and you can see very clearly we pull back to the 38 nearly. We can't even take that out. We reverse immediately and look at our extension right to the 1618, almost to the pip. So that's the first pair that I wanted to share with you, just so you can see where your targets are and where your entries might well be. So that's the 5-minute USD.CAD. Now let's come down here because we also want to see what's happening with the AUD. We know the CAD was weak here today because the US dollar strengthened. Let's see what happens over here on the AUD-CAD. And I've even put some new Fibonacci's in here. Let me get rid of these for the moment. Hang on one sec. Get rid of this just for the moment so you can see more clearly. Once again, this is a 15-minute chart of the AUD. And notice what happens as soon as we come into the into the London session here, that news that the tariffs are not going to be increased on the 1st of March really brought the buyers back in. We had a little bit of chop over the Sunday night session. We came down. We couldn't go any further to the downside. We clearly had a move and a pullback and then a move here. And then we pulled back into the London session. Notice then we have two white indicators. We pull back into this area right here, and let's just double test that and see how it goes. We're going to put our line right here so we can keep track of where we are. 5-minute chart. You can see here we're really in a position where not even threatening that chandelier, a pullback here and a quick reversal, and then we're off to the races. And if you're up in that London session, which I was not, you have a 17-pip move. And then here we come at 7 o'clock Boston time, pull back below the bands. The chandelier holds us once again, and we're in a situation where we have a nice move to the upside in the U.S. session. We didn't even pause really until we got to 9:30. We'd moved 36.7 pips, and that's a nice move for the AUD and the CAD. Once again, combining a weak currency with a strong currency and getting that significant move to the upside. If we were to change our template just a bit here, let's see what we've got going on. Put on this one. Here's the one that also shows you that this pullback into the 7 o'clock time frame really isn't critical. We come down and we are saved by the chandelier, but also notice our bands are holding us. We have a bit of compression here, and then a slingshot to the north, and we're also over our Ichimoku cloud. So that's just a clarification of some trading opportunities. And once again, if you just quickly look, we want to make sure our risk on this trade isn't a big one, because obviously there's a risk in every trade you enter. But pulling back here, we had only 4 pips to the downside. And in this particular case, even down below and into this zone, we wouldn't have had more than something like 5 pips. So 5 pips to get 40 is not a bad risk-to-reward ratio. I hope that helps you, and we'll see you in the next video.